Welcome to the Bookroom Duo, where we explore a variety of books. Let's get started. Today, we are strapping in for something that can only be described as, I think, a roller coaster designed by a madman.
That is a very good way to put it.
We are diving into Sweet Venom by Rina Kent. This is the second book in her Viper series, and let me tell you, if you thought the first book was intense, this one takes the dial, rips it off, and throws it out the window.
Yeah, that's accurate. We're moving deeper into the lore of, the Vancouver Society and the Greystone Ridge elite. But before we get totally carried away with the drama.
And there is so much drama.
So much.
Yeah.
We need to properly categorize this. We are strictly in the dark college hockey romance genre.
Oh, absolutely. But calling it a romance almost feels like a trick in the first half.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got hockey, sure, but the hockey is basically just background noise for stalking, kidnapping, family secrets, some serious psychological warfare.
Yeah.
It has that addictive quality where you know you shouldn't be rooting for this relationship, but you just can't look away.
And that brings us to the mandatory disclaimer. We always check the author's note, and Rina Kent does not hide the ball here. Sweet Venom features an anti-hero, graphic violence, stalking, and a very specific trope known as consensual non-consent, or CNC.
Right, CNC.
It challenges pretty much every societal norm about what a healthy relationship looks like. So our mission today isn't to judge the morality of it, but to track the chronological chaos of Violet Winters and Jude Callahan.
We need to figure out how they go from predator and prey to, well, whatever they become.
Predator and prey is the perfect way to put it.
Okay, so let's set the stage. Or two players. In one corner, or maybe the shadowy corner, we have Violet Winters.
Violet is a fascinating study in trauma response. She's 22, a student, a bartender, but her main personality trait is invisible.
Yeah, she tries to be.
She wears oversized hoodies, she avoids eye contact, lives in a rough neighborhood. She isn't trying to live, she is trying to survive by not existing.
She's a ghost. And you mentioned her trauma response. She's a freezer, right?
Exactly. When we talk about fight or flight, we often forget the third option, freeze. Violet just shuts down. She learned from a history of abuse that fighting back gets you hurt, running gets you caught. So she freezes, tries to become wallpaper.
Which works for everyone, except Jude Callahan. Let's talk about Jude. He's a viper, a hockey god, filthy rich, and just terrifyingly violent. He's the kind of guy who walks into a room and the temperature drops. And for some reason, he is absolutely obsessed with the one girl who wants to be invisible.
But here's where the story hooks you. It's not just a random obsession. He isn't stalking her because he thinks she's pretty. He has a motive, and it is heavy. This is the inciting incident that drives the entire first act.
It's the why. Jude believes that Violet was present when his mother, Susie, was murdered in a public square years ago.
And not just present. He believes she stood there and watched. He calls her the bystander. In his mind, her silence makes her complicit.
So he's projecting all his grief and rage onto her. He wants to punish her. It's basically a revenge plot disguised as a romance. He wants to destroy her, but, and this is the classic dark romance twist, he keeps saving her from everyone else.
Yes.
She's like, I'm gonna ruin you, but if anyone else touches you, I'll end them.
That contradiction is the engine of the book. There's a specific scene early on that just nails this perfectly. Violet is walking home, and a drunk neighbor named Dave accosts her. It's a bad situation.
And she does what she always does, right? She freezes.
Completely shuts down.
And then Jude steps out of the shadows like Batman, if Batman was a psychopath.
Yeah.
He absolutely destroys Dave. I mean, shattering his nose, blood everywhere. It's brutal.
But look at what happens after. He doesn't ask if she's okay. He doesn't comfort her. He looks at her trembling and calls her annoying.
Annoying? After saving her life, it's unbelievable.
It reveals his whole psychology. He hates her weakness because it reminds him of his own helplessness when his mother died. He's angry that she needs saving, but he can't stop himself.
And that leads to their agreement.
The agreement, yeah. He corners her and tells her, your life is mine. You don't get to die or hurt yourself as long as I don't allow it.
Total possession. He's claiming ownership of her survival. And speaking of possession, we have to talk about the ginger ale scene.
I knew this was coming.
We have to. It's iconic. He breaks into her apartment because locks mean nothing to him, finds her drinking a ginger ale, and decides she's wasting it.
So he pours it all over her.
All over her.
It starts as humiliation. He's making a mess, exerting control. But then the dynamic flips. He starts licking the soda off her.
It's the sensory overload for Violet. It's humiliating, yes, but it's also intimate. It's the moment her body betrays her brain, she realizes, oh no, I'm attracted to the monster.
And that confusion is exactly where Jude wants her. He wants to break her down. But just as we're settling into this weird cat-and-mouse game, the genre just shifts.
Oh, it shifts hard. We leave psychological thriller and enter an action movie.
Yeah, this is segment 2.
Yeah.
Suddenly, someone else is trying to kill Violet.
Right. She's with her bodyguard, Mario, who Jude hired, by the way, and they get ambushed. Van, motorcycle, gunshots. It's chaos. Mario gets shot, Violet gets knocked out.
And when she wakes up, the vibe is just sterile and terrifying. She's in a hospital. But Jude isn't there.
No. Instead, she's looking at Julian Callahan, Jude's older brother.
And if Jude is fire and rage, Julian is ice and calculation.
Oh, for sure. Julian is the guy who smiles while he ruins your life on a spreadsheet.
Precisely. And Julian drops a bomb. He tells Violet that Jude was the one trying to kill her, and that he, Julian, saved her.
Which is such a masterful gaslight because Jude has been threatening her this whole time, so of course she believes it.
And Julian uses that fear. He offers her a deal, disappear, and he'll keep her and her sister Dahlia safe. Then, in one of the most clinically insane moves in the book, he puts her in a drug-induced coma.
For 3 months.
3 months. He's using her as a test subject for his drugs while hiding her. It's dehumanizing in the extreme.
And he promises her a new life on the West Coast when she wakes up.
But of course, the plan fails spectacularly.
You can't keep the vipers apart. She wakes up in Rhode Island, totally disoriented, and Jude finds her almost immediately.
The separation didn't work. If anything, it just wound the spring tighter, so she gets dragged back to Greystone Ridge. This moves us into segment 3, and the dynamic has shifted.
Right, she's not just the scared mouse anymore, she's angry. And she has a new layer of protection.
Her sister Dahlia. While Violet was in her coma nap, Dahlia started dating Kane Davenport,
who is Jude's best friend and the team captain.
Which creates a crucial buffer. Jude can't just go too far because it would blow up his relationship with Kane. They're forced into proximity, which finally allows the romance to actually breathe.
And that proximity leads to the motorcycle scene. This is where things get real.
Oh, yeah.
Jude picks her up, they have a confrontation about her maybe dating another guy, and it turns into this incredibly heated moment on the bike.
And this is the scene that really defines the CNC, the consensual non-consent dynamic.
Yeah.
Jude is aggressive, yes, but he gives her a tool. He gives her a safe word. Blue.
He explicitly tells her, if you say blue, I stop. He hands her all the control.
And she refuses to use it.
That's the key, isn't it? Why doesn't she say it?
Because for the first time in her life, she is choosing her danger. By refusing the safe word, she is consenting to his darkness. She's signaling that she can handle him.
And later, she actually figures this out, right? She has this epiphany.
The monster comparison. She realizes she grew up with an abusive mother who directed violence at her to break her. Jude is violent, but he directs his violence outward to protect her.
He beats up the neighbors, the hitmen, all the threats.
Exactly. To a woman who has always been a victim, a monster who stands in front of you rather than over you is, well, it's incredibly seductive.
It makes a twisted sort of sense. He makes her feel safe because he's the scariest thing in the room and he's on her side.
He claims her publicly, kissing her in front of the whole campus.
But just as they're figuring this out, we get hit with a mystery plot. Segment 4, the bracelet.
This is where the soap opera elements really kick in. Violet has a bracelet her mother left her. She shows it to Preston Armstrong.
Preston, right, the third Viper. Jude, Kane, and Preston. He's the chaotic, fun-loving golden boy.
And Preston takes one look at this bracelet, it has a sun and moon design, and realizes it locks into his own ring, and suddenly the math adds up.
Violet isn't just a nobody bartender.
She's an Armstrong. Specifically, she's Preston's half-sister.
The drama. But before they can even process this, tragedy strikes. They're hanging out at a park, Violet, Dahlia, and Preston. A car drives by, gunshots.
A drive-by shooting. And in a split second, Preston makes a choice. He shields Violet.
The golden boy takes the bullets.
It's the ultimate sacrifice. He is rushed to surgery, but the news comes back. He's dead.
This part is devastating. You have Jude, this unshakable force, just standing in the rain at the funeral, completely broken.
And Violet is drowning in guilt. Her mother always told her she was a curse who kills everyone she loves. Now she thinks she has proof.
It's the lowest point of the book. The group is shattered. But this death forces the truth out. Which brings us to segment 5, the family secret.
They all gather at the Armstrong estate for the reading of the will.
And Lawrence Armstrong, Preston's dad, finally reveals the truth. Violet is his daughter. But that's not the biggest shock. We find out who has been trying to kill Violet this whole time.
It was Marguerite Armstrong, the grandmother.
The grandma. It is always the evil matriarch in these books.
Marguerite is cold-blooded. Years ago, she tried to kill Violet's mother to prevent a scandal. When Violet showed up, Marguerite hired the hitmen, the van, the drive-by, to eliminate the illegitimate heir.
So the irony is just sickening. She was trying to kill Violet, but she ended up killing her own grandson, Preston.
A Greek tragedy. She destroyed the legacy she was trying so hard to protect. Winston, the grandfather, finds out and kicks her out, strips her of everything.
But in the world of the Vipers, exile isn't justice.
No way. You don't kill a viper and get away with it. Jude and Kane gear up. They go to the grandmother's house to handle business.
But when they kick down the door, they find someone beat them to it.
Marcus Osborne, captain of the rival hockey team. He's usually the antagonist, but here, he's the executioner. He brutally murdered Marguerite in her bed.
A canvas of slaughter. I mean, Marcus went full Dexter on her.
So the villain is dead. The heroes are traumatized but safe. You think the book is winding down?
You're ready for the credits.
But Rina Kent has one more card to play. The epilogue twist.
This twist? I literally gasped.
A week later, Violet throws a party for the Vipers to try and boost morale, and then the door opens.
And Preston walks in.
Alive.
I dropped my book. He was dead. We saw the funeral.
He faked his death. It was a strategic move by him and his father, Lawrence. They knew the grandfather was blind to Marguerite's evil. The only way to smoke her out was to have a body count. A sacrificial lamb, so to speak.
That is some 4D chess right there. I'm going to fake my death to get my grandma fired from the family.
It's extreme, but it worked. Preston is back. Violet is suddenly a wealthy heiress, though she stays humble, of course. And she and Jude are finally together.
And we get our happily ever after, or as close to it as these two can get. Jude finds a form of redemption. He's not good now, but he has a purpose.
Right. He's still violent, still dangerous, but he's channeling it. The epilogue mentions he hunts down Violet's abusive foster father.
And removes him from the equation.
Which is a very polite way of putting it.
And that brings us right back to the title, Sweet Venom.
Exactly. The relationship is venomous by any normal standard. It's toxic. But for them, it's the antidote. Jude's violence fills the cracks in Violet's safety, and her acceptance calms his rage. They balance each other out.
It's a fantasy of absolute protection. It asks you to accept that sometimes safety doesn't look like a picket fence. Sometimes it looks like a 6'4" hockey player who will burn the world down so you don't get a scratch.
And it sets the stage perfectly for the rest of the series. We know Preston is alive. We know Marcus is capable of extreme violence.
Ooh, the tension between Preston and Marcus is palpable. I have a feeling the next book is going to be explosive.
It certainly seems that way. So yeah, we've tracked the chaos, from stalking to fake comas, secret sisters, evil grandmothers, and resurrected brothers. It's been a wild ride.
It really has. Okay, before we go, here is a provocative thought for you to mull over. We usually equate love with gentleness and violence with hate. But in the corrupt world of Greystone Ridge, where grandmothers put hits out on their grandkids, is Jude's violence actually the purest form of love Violet could possibly receive? Is being bad the only way to be good to her?
It's a moral paradox that Sweet Venom doesn't answer, but certainly leaves us thinking about.
Thanks for joining us. Subscribe for more bookish adventures and hit that like button if you enjoyed the ride. Don't forget to share the knowledge, spread the word.